Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Hey, happy hump day, ladies. This is the Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your what? Come on, ladies. Oh, let's get it. Listen, we are going to have a pretty interesting show today, ladies. I know we've seen a little bit of it before we came on here. It's going to be a little spicy. Some Black women are openly admitting that they would rather have a rich man who cheats than a poor man who's loyal. Now, this opens up a candid discussion about dating priorities, financial expectations, and how money influences relationship choices in our community. This is going to be interesting, especially with high-valued women that we have, such as we have today. Dr. Felice, the B.Big Coach, is in the building. What's up, Dr. Felice? How you doing, mama? You're muted.
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I haven't seen you in a long time. It's good to see you, sweetheart.
Good to see you.
And then we have Miss Dr. SEW, Miss Sabrina Edmon-Williams. What's happening? We have all the right women in here to have this very, very discussion. I wish we had somebody ratchet up in here, though, to kind of, shake things up a little bit, so we can see the other perspective. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that we may all be on the same page when it comes to this, but I don't know. So let's go ahead and talk about the subject. Well, let's take a look at this video that kind of sparked this whole subject today.
Would you rather have a rich man who cheats or a broke man that's faithful?
A rich man who cheats. A rich man that cheats. Rich nigga that cheat all day, easy, with my eyes closed.
Your eyes gonna be closed because you're not gonna be looking.
Don't give a fuck. No other bitch. Only worry about me. Rich nigga that cheat. Broke nigga that's faithful. I got the bag.
Broke nigga that's faithful, baby. I can run it up, baby.
A rich nigga that cheat. Because I'm probably gonna cheat too. I'm gonna get my get back. 9 times out of 10, if he cheating, I already know his cheating schedule, so I'm gonna cheat in between.
A cheating schedule?
Yeah. Niggas got cheating schedules.
Oh, you gonna boss a broke nigga up?
Yeah. I feel like we can always change that. Baby, just keep me put up. I don't give a fuck what you do.
If you got the
well, I think I know whether you agree with them or not. Let me ask you this. Do you know anybody that you could think of in your life or that you've ever run across that thinks like this? I'm gonna start with you, Dr. Felice. Do you know anybody that thinks like this?
No, I don't have anybody in my circle who thinks like this.
Not in your circle. Ain't nobody maybe some nieces twice removed or something?
No, that's crazy. I don't. And it don't make sense because I could possibly see some of them could be like that, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but I understand where they're coming from with that.
Okay, talk about it. Where are they coming from? Help me to understand.
So this is what it is that marriage is hard. Right? Period. Out the gate, we need to stop having these fantasies about what marriage is. It is not Hallmark. Lifetime Movie Network might give you a more realistic view of what marriage is, but it is not Hallmark. It's work. And because it's work, because you're dealing with two individuals who have baggage, flaws, or imperfect, sometimes people would rather that their partner have money if they're going to do this kind of work. It's harder to do the work of marriage and deal with brokenness. So they're saying that if I'm going to have to work in this marriage, can we at least have some money? And so it makes
you say it so intellectually. I don't know that that's what they're saying though, but you said it so eloquently.
Can we at least have some money so that we're not dealing with the financial hardships of trying to make two individuals become one? And so that's where I kind of get it in that sense. This
is the reason why you are the therapist, because you make dumb shit sound very eloquent, because this is some dumb shit that these girls are talking. This is dumb shit. But thank you for therapizing and trying to bring humanness to the conversation, because Dr. Sabrina, you look like you chomping at the bit. Do you know anybody that thinks like this?
Well, I don't know anybody, but that does not mean they don't exist, because this younger generation thinks a lot differently than my generation. And that being said, I got to circle back to Dr. Felice. I don't even think these women are thinking about any work involved with the marriage. I don't care nothing about that.
Yeah, because she's talking about marriage. These hoes ain't trying to get married.
They're just looking for the bag. That's all they're looking for. I don't know about that one. And that's not what I heard. I mean, that's not what I heard. There may be some.
She's humanizing them. These hoes is not thinking about getting married.
There may be some somewhere down the line that's thinking about marriage, but that's not what I heard. Not with that clip. Maybe the next clip. Not with that.
But can we also? And I know I'm the therapist, y'all. Go ahead. I love it.
I love it. I respect it, and I thank you for that, because we need people like you to bring the humanity into the conversation.
So, and I always try and cover people with some grace. They have grown up in a different time than we have. And I believe that my generation, and maybe the one after, has possibly dropped the ball with our younger people. Mm-hmm. It is our job to help them to instill values. Mm-hmm. It is our job to give them the love and the security so that they can grow up being able to walk and apply these values. This is a very materialistic stage that we live in. It is this generation that has created the concept of lifestyle, which is causing people to literally lose their lives so they can be rich. And so what does that mean? That means that when you grow up in a space and in a culture where it's always about the bag, it's about the bag. It's about, like, that's the thing. It's about the bag. Our worlds are so much bigger than the bag. Mm-hmm. And so when you grow up in that culture and that's who you are around, that is who you spend time with, that is all you saturate your senses with, this makes sense to me when they talk like this. So now, how do we help them to be able to see a bigger, more broader side of who they are and what it means to be in relationship and partnership with another human being?
Okay, I can dig it. And again, I appreciate that, because it is, I think it's a reflection of society. I think it's a mix of broke bitch shit and the crack epidemic. I think there's too many crack hoes having babies, and they broke, and they come out thinking like this, because just the amount of development and personal accountability, and just the analytical brain not thinking about anything outside of just this money. And that's because you go back to that scarcity mindset. They've never had anything. They probably never even had love. So that, love is a fleeting thing. It's not even anything that they've experienced. So fuck love. Give me the bag, because they broke. And what an awesome responsibility, because these young ladies are probably the ages of our daughters. What an awesome responsibility for us as mothers to be able to have children that we can pour into, and we can, just kind of give them, just tools and emotional intelligence, and let them know that they're worth more than all these things, the material things. And I know that sometimes even my daughter gets caught up in looking at social media and, wanting the soft life and wanting all those things that they see because of this on social media, but they're not grounded in reality. And I do blame, I blame poverty. I blame white supremacy. I blame the government. I blame all of those things. I blame all those elements for us to be in this position of even having these conversations and for them to react in this way. So that's what I think. But to that point, Dr. Sabrina, do you think that social media influences these thoughts?
I absolutely think it influences the thoughts. But here's the other side of that. I remember it wasn't too long ago, we went through an epidemic where you had Black women being diagnosed in mass with HIV. And, it's like I'm listening to these people say, I don't care. It doesn't matter. What about your health? You put yourself at risk every time, because while that guy is out there doing whatever, he's bringing all that and those people and everything that they got going on inside their bodies back to you. Right. And maybe that's part of the conversation that, we talk about us older women having a responsibility, mothers having a responsibility. Maybe that's the part of the conversation we need to tell them. Okay, maybe you want to get the bag, but is it worth sacrificing your health? Is it worth sacrificing even your very life to get it? Yeah. How much are you willing to sacrifice to get it?
That part. And, I asked you guys the question, do you guys know people who act like this? I actually do. And it is very, very sad when you're ingrained and this is inbred in you. And Tiara said in the back, this is not just young girls, the way young girls think it is. They got it from their mamas. It's all the things, it's all the societal things that I think have been inflicted upon Black people in a certain socioeconomic situation, that are in these situations where there is the scarcity and the poverty, and they're inbred with this mindset that all they need is this money, and that's going to change their whole lives. And it does not. One thing that they're going to learn, that money is not going to make you happy. It's not going to, you can't buy love from money. At the end of the day, you can have all the money but be empty inside, and that's what they don't understand that. But because they've never had it, they don't understand it. But we're going to talk more about it when we come back from the break.
It's a good show right here, but I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Edmon-Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
So this is Fly Nubian Money. Hey you. Hey girl, hey.
Hopefully it works. I don't know why sometimes I have static when I try to get on shows, but hopefully I'm good.
Miss Black Hollywood is in the building. So today we are talking about Black women confessing that they prefer rich men who cheat over a loyal, poor man. And so the question that I did ask to the ladies before you got on here, Tiara, was, do you know anybody like this? And what are your thoughts?
Yes, like in my close circle though, like I don't know y'all. When I went to college, there were women who literally were coached by their mothers to find, because I went to Xavier University of Louisiana. And we are number one for sending Black students to med school, right? Mm-hmm. Like number one for making Black doctors. So a lot of my friends are like pharmacists and all these things. But when some of the girls in the dorm, I remember them saying that they were looking for a husband. They were looking for a husband because that means that they were going to be doctors and like looking for a potential future rich man, right? So already thinking that way. But to be honest, I know a lot of women who would prefer, especially where I live, would prefer a rich man over anything else. The hard part is, I know women who have done some strange things to work their way to the middle or to get in a movie or to get an opportunity. I mean, I think I live in a different world, but I just think it's, people, I think women, and I'm not talking about, I know you, not any of you ladies, but I think women, men use money as leverage, and women, there are lots of women out here that'll take it and sound like, they won't say it like the women in the video, but they'll say it a different way. They'll make it sound pretty, maybe like Dr. Felice, but like they have the same mindset.
You know what? I think, you know what? You're right. Because I think it may be delivery. Because I've talked to like my friends who went to PWIs. Their moms send them to school for the same reasons. You know, get you a man, tag onto a man that's going to be successful so that you could be a homemaker, you could be a wife. I don't think these hoes are trying to be homemakers or wives. They just want bags. However, it's no different. I do believe it's no different than other cultures sending their children to school to get a husband. And yeah, F love, this is what it is, which is still really sad because ultimately, like, I think everybody, well, I don't know, maybe they don't, but I think love is the ultimate goal. What do you think, Dr. Felice?
So basically, the number one thing that women need in relationships, period, is security.
Yeah.
And so the money is a form of security. And yes, we want the security of love too, but that's what the money symbolizes. That is number one for all women of all ethnicities is security. And then the one thing that I am going to stand in the gap for is that when Black people say or do something, it changes the whole narrative. But there's no culture that don't want their girls to marry somebody rich. If you look at the Asian population in the Indian sector, most of those girls allow their parents to arrange their marriages. You think their parents are arranging marriages with somebody that don't have a financial future? Not at all. And they know that you're going to grow in love. That love is something that you can grow in. But they're not arranging marriages with men who don't have no money. And so it's just that when it comes to the Black side and a Black woman is able to say, I need the money of financial stability, we twist it on ourselves. And could that be the reason?
Is love a Western concept though, Dr. Felice? Do you think love is a Western concept? Like falling in love, is that a Western concept?
Yeah, I think that's a Western concept. I don't believe in falling in love. Like, I want to purposefully do something, whatever it is I'm going to do, I have choice. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think love is a choice. I choose to love you. I'm not falling in it. And I think that love changes when you're with the relationship. Things that don't matter to you in the beginning, I think love grows. I think it evolves. I think it adjusts. And so when you start in a marriage where you get to know that person and you don't have the poverty or any financial stuff to burden you with that, you are really, truly equal and able to know your partner and get to love them and grow with them without them being, I don't mean any harm. Like, I don't mean, and I'm not saying that how these girls came off. Like, I think you're onto something. Their tone, their aggressive or possibly assertiveness in the way they came out and said, I want somebody with money. But can we stop down and bring women who know and need that in themselves? Like, what is so wrong with a Black woman saying, I would like a partner who has money? And we don't say nothing about the poor white woman who is marrying for money. All those girls who go to a PWI, they go in looking for a man.
Okay, well, I want to interject something because I heard something else. I didn't just hear, are you interested in, or would you prefer a rich man versus a poor man? That wasn't the question, and that's not what we're talking about. The question was specifically a rich man who cheats versus a poor man.
That's true. Yeah. Let's bring it back.
I have no problem, me personally. If I had a daughter, yes, I would want her to be looking for someone who brought something to the table because she's coming from a household, a family who's going to bring something to the table. But that's a very different conversation than saying when we put that extra qualifier on there that he's going to cheat because he is rich. That's not necessarily the case. Nor is it the case that a person, just because they are quote unquote poor, and I don't know how we're defining poor. I think maybe a video we're going to get to later talks a little bit more about that. But our poor men are not loyal. So
that's the truth.
We're talking about kind of two different things as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's a problem with someone espousing to or wanting to have someone who brings something to the table. Nothing is wrong with that. But when you start talking about, and you specifically say, I'm okay with this person cheating and being unfaithful to me simply because he brings something to the table. I think there's something wrong with that.
Let me just say this. Can I just interject?
I want to jump in too.
I got to interject real quick. So for the most part, right, people cheat. They don't necessarily cheat in the beginning, right? Like, that's something that they kind of go into. So I hear what you're saying, and I think we're looking at it too literal. In the fact that, I think because we got women right now who are choosing to stay with cheating husbands, whether they got money or not. And that's something that women just do. Their men cheat and they stay. Now, on the other end, when she cheat, he out. But it's something that women do. They for the most part, women stay. Look at Hillary Clinton. Biggest cheating thing on the planet, went international. That woman stayed and she had the money to leave. So I'm just saying, even if you throw cheating in the thing, I'm thinking that they're saying, regardless, if he cheat, don't cheat, I would like for him to have some money. That's where I'm standing with them.
What you say, Miss Black Hollywood?
Well, I was having a conversation with one of my, she's not a friend, but it was a Nigerian girl. And we were having a conversation about culture. And she was saying, yes, like the men cheat. Like you expect, and especially in an African culture, if you have a husband and he either has wives or you expect him to have other girlfriends or other wives. But that doesn't mean that as long as he can take care of you and take care of what's going on in your house, doesn't really matter. Like she was just like, I mean, even the concept of cheating and leaving and just being like, I'm out of here because you cheated. So you're gonna mess up the whole household, the kids, all of that because a man cheated. Like the way she saw sex and the way that we, I think, as women see sex was totally different. You expect a man to, because that's what supposedly that's what she said. That's what men do. They gonna cheat, but that doesn't even necessarily mean he doesn't love you. That doesn't mean that he doesn't care about you. That doesn't mean anything because men don't necessarily equate love to sex. And so it's an interesting conversation when you start to really like think about what they're saying. Like, okay, he's gonna go out and step out, but as long as I'm taken care of, that's what I heard when I was listening to the girls. That same mindset.
I didn't hear that. I heard that they didn't care about themselves, their bodies, anything else but getting money. That's what it sounded like to me. I will say, like from a marriage perspective, like cheating was not that wasn't the thing. Like that's not the total deal breaker unless you're like a serial cheater, you just out there cheating. But if something happened, like I think that's something that people can recover from if they choose to recover from it. But the problem is, you out there doing something that's totally different and you don't give a damn about me. And okay, but you got money and I'm kept because I got this money. Unless we're both cheating. Like one of the girls did say, like, we're going to have a schedule. You cheat, I cheat. Hey, we both cheating. You got the money and, we just going to live this great life and it be what it be. But it's not going to be just you cheating. It's we cheating. We speaking French up in this mug. I mean, that's how we doing it. Whatever you do, we do. But anyway, there's another video I want to take a look at so that we can further this conversation.
The broke ones come with cheating. The rich ones come with cheating. I'd rather my man cheat on me while I'm up in the penthouse and I'm taken care of so I can go use his Amex in the morning and dry my eyes with a Chanel towel than to be like, you stole little crab legs on the food stamp card. That's not. The last transaction was $4.99. It was you. Like, I don't want to go through that. But I feel like me as a woman, I hustle for me not to go through stuff like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what I can provide. Just like I want vacations and nice things, I know that I can spend a bag. Any guy that I've ever dated can tell you that I do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I spend money on my men because I'm a little trick when I like a man. I want you to have nice things too, Zaddy. Like I want you to feel special. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get a masseuse. I'm gonna get a private chef. I'm gonna book us first class tickets away. But I'm going to reciprocate the energy you give to me. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that to someone that, is not doing much for me. So I don't go for men that ask me, what do I bring to the table when I'm clearly the table? What am I going to bring? I'm the table.
So from you like that, Dr. Felice? I just think these conversations are way too materialistic for me. Like going and spending his money and driving his car. That's cringy. That's just cringy. I don't like it. But go ahead. What do you think?
But we you know me. I'm just like, this is how they grow up. Social media dictates their values. So unless you're going to do a crusade to get rid of social media, which I will join, because as a mental health therapist, I know the danger that social media does for these minds. And so if you want to start a crusade to get rid of social media, please sign me up, because social media is their value system. Social media is where they get their ideas. Social media is why a lot of them are mentally unhealthy. Like, it is a catalyst for all of these things. And then we judge them. So either we're going to go out in these fields and recreate and tell people how to really love themselves and to give them and to be able to identify values by which but these are their values. And then I'm going to judge them for it. But I was okay with her because she said, I am the table. I just want the man to have a couple of chairs that he can put around it. So she wasn't saying that she couldn't do for herself. She just wanted an equal partner because she didn't want to have to fight for a crab leg. So I was like, okay, I get it. Like, I don't want to judge people for a lot of things that this is how they are. And this is what they grew up with, and they don't know any better. So then it is up to us. So like, we got to keep having this dialogue. Come see one of us to learn to identify values.
I just like, if I'm sitting and I'm talking to women who talk like this, I could not engage in this conversation. There's no way I could engage in it. I have nothing to add or to contribute to anything that you're talking about, because I can't even relate. It's just like, it again, this is broke bitch conversation. This is for broke people who ain't never had nothing. So these are the things that you talk about because you've never had anything. And so you put so much emphasis on these material things. And it's like, it's just tacky. It's tacky to me. But Dr. Sabrina, what do you think?
Well, can I just say one more thing? And I'm gonna be quiet.
No, go ahead. No, speak, baby, speak.
A dude came up to them and asked them a question, and they answered it. They was on those girls around that couch. This was a topic, and they're talking about it. I'm going to give them some credit into thinking that they not in there, and maybe they are.
They're having these conversations with their girlfriends. But
think about it. Like, real people of wealth, they don't go around bragging about their stuff.
Exactly.
Right. They don't. And so we got to teach them how to be wealthy. Right. So don't go and talk about it. All right.
Yes. So to your point, so I'm in an area where there's a lot of Black wealthy people, and a lot of people here are very elitist. They're very, first thing they ask is, where do you live? What do you do? Those are two things. When you come here, what do you do? Where do you live? And so the first couple of years, I'm like, I'm just chilling. I ain't say nothing because I was just chilling. I was chilling for 2 years. I'm just chilling. Where do you live? They want to know that they want to qualify you based upon what you have. So I would get invited to certain things, and people will be like, oh, it's going to be a lot of movers and shakers here. I'm like, okay, they going to give me some money. Like, I don't give a damn. I've been getting money for the last 20 years. I don't care about what they doing or their money. That makes me no difference unless I'm in some way benefiting. So even in these areas where you have even more elitist Black people, they're still just trying to have this conversation because everybody want to get money, because everybody comes from this lack and scarcity that when they finally do get money, that's what all they want to talk about. And that's, for me, is cringy. But that's what they do, and I don't like it. That's just not, that ain't where I'm hanging out at.
Okay, this is what I don't like. I just don't like the way they talk. I don't know. It's like, if it's for me, I just think that I just need money. I hate the way. It's the energy, right? Like, I can understand the women, but they sound, it's just the
irritating,
vibe, right? Like, yes, a little bit. So it's just like us having a conversation about it and saying, like, listen, I want a man to come to the table and bring something with him. Don't bring broken legs and 15 kids to stand around my table. Like, there's certain things that I think are appropriate. There's certain things I think when getting into a situation or a relationship with somebody, it's appropriate to have standards, right? And I also believe that, I'm not, again, like Dr. Felice, I understand what these young ladies are saying, and I think maybe we should just run the video again so we can listen to what they say again, even though, we have other videos. Yeah, even though we have other videos, because we keep going back to that particular video. I'm like, well, let's listen again, because everybody hears something else. But I hear women just saying, listen, if I got to go through it, like Dr. Felice said, if I got to go through this with you and it's going to be hard, I don't want to struggle with you.
Let me
You
tell
know
you.
what I mean? I dated a broke man before for love.
But he had that
every
good.
time
He
it
probably
was
was
a
on a
no-
he probably was on an air mattress, but he had that good, didn't he?
No. Well, you know, no, what happened, Constance. But I dated him. But what was the most annoying is when we would get somewhere, we would go to a restaurant, and he'd be like, all right, so the bill, yeah. So what did we get again? What is it like? I didn't like that. I didn't like us having to count. Okay, so we went half. So like, just give me $7.25 back. I'd be like, one day.
But when you went home, he broke that back out. That's why you tolerated that shit, because he broke that back. He broke that back. He broke that back when you got home. No, that's why you tolerated.
And the thing was, he was not. It was for love, right? It was for love. But I was like, I love him, and he was loyal. He did not cheat on me. But we used to count pennies, and I really hated that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, this feels so petty and so broke and so poverty stricken.
Well,
I don't want to live in poverty.
If you over 30 and you still doing that, then kill yourself.
He still do it to this day to that same person. Like I remember I seen him not too long ago, and he was like, yeah, I came down, but I don't really know if I'm being afford to go. I was like, oh, it's so nice to see you. I never mind. It's not attractive. Can we just be honest and say that? Like, it's not that. If we got a penny pinch and you looking, it's just a mindset, I think. And
but
so
see, that's the thing about it is that's okay when you're in your 20s. Like if my daughter went out with somebody like that, like y'all still young, y'all trying to figure it out. That's one thing. And you can't blame the young man for that because he's still trying to figure out his life. But when you get to a certain age and you in your 30s and you in your 40s and you over here trying to divide the one and add the two and all that stuff on the receipt, yeah, that's just no, absolutely not. But he had that good. That's the only reason why you tolerate that shit, Tiara. You can't tell me nothing different. Let's watch the video again.
So I got the question, y'all. Do you prefer a millionaire cheater or a loyal broke guy? And here's my answer to this. It depends on what that woman values. At this point in my life, I want a man that has integrity, that has a good character, that lives by a certain moral code. I would rather him be broke than to be somebody who's a millionaire, disrespecting me, cheating on me, and not really giving me what I desire or what I need from a relationship just because he can provide a certain lifestyle. Absolutely not. I want to be respected, and I want to be in a situation where I respect that man. And a lot of times we look at lifestyle and money as in, oh, we have it all. No, you don't have it all if you ain't got no peace. You don't have it all if you're not being respected by your partner. And a lot of us are bypassing really good dudes, really solid guys that will treat you right, that will honor you, that will respect you. And you go for these guys that have no good intentions for you at all. You will just be one of many. And you're like, okay, well, I'd rather have that because I got money. That's not going to keep you warm at night, sis. I'm sorry.
I ain't got nothing to add to that. Dr. Sabrina, what you think?
Well, I mean, I think she has a very valid point. At the end of the day, we are all individual. And what works for me may not work for the next person. What I would prefer may not be what the next person prefers. But the other side of that is we evolve as we get older. Most of us do anyway. So what was exciting to me when I'm in my 20s may not be so exciting or may not be a priority for me when I'm in my 30s. Something came across my feed earlier. I don't know if it was today or earlier in the week. It was a clip about Neo, the singer. Mm-hmm. And of course, most of you guys probably already know that he and his wife were divorced because he chose to, engage with several. He said he couldn't be faithful to one woman. So I think now he's in a relationship with 4 mm-hmm. or something like that. So, I mean, in that case, it did not work for his wife, but obviously those women that are in a relationship with him don't really care. And it was funny because, and I don't know that it's true, but according to what I was reading, they were saying there was certain specifications, certain rules in place, things that he could do in the relationship, but they were forbidden. If they did these things, then they had to pay a fee or a fine for breaking the quote unquote rules, which is hilarious to me. And it often makes me wonder, it's like, why do we have to have these conversations as women? Why aren't the men sitting around having these type conversations? Like, man, do you want a woman that cheats on you, or do you want one that's gonna rub your feet at night, you know, and could have your meal on the table when you get home? What do you want?
Right.
This is crazy to me.
No, I think that is so true. And it goes back to, women, first of all, polygamy has been around since the beginning of time. So, men have a lot of time, and in patriarchal societies have been, been polygamous. There have been, and then there's some matriarchal societies where women have been, the benefactors of polygamy. So there's been that. But I do think, Boyce and I was having a conversation. I'll share this a little bit earlier on the other podcast, but Boyce and I were having this conversation about the dynamic of the Black family, Black community. And it's, stemmed from like systematic racism and mass incarceration. Because what happened is the dynamic of relationships in the Black community has shifted dramatically. The ecosystem of our relationships have shifted because of the fact that our Black men are no longer available, a lot of them being mass incarcerated. And so now you have, where you have the 9 women to 1 man, you have this whole imbalance. And so what it's done is it's shifted the dynamic of how Black men show up on more feminine. What do you bring to the table, sis? Instead of, them building the table and acting within their masculinity, chasing women, courting women, because the art of the court is lost. Men just aren't doing that anymore because they don't have to, because women aren't setting the standard, because there's a scarcity mindset about them not being able to have a man. And, they only getting a piece of a man in this. If you can get a piece of my love, is waiting for you. These women are taking a piece of these men's love, and they're living just to get a piece of that. And I'm telling you, the only piece I want is looking out in my backyard and seeing these deer run around and watching these trees. I would be by myself before I took a piece of a man. The piece that I got in my life right now is worth way more than a piece of some raggedy ass ninja. For real. But the problem is, the dynamics has really changed in our community, and we don't have a lot of options that a lot of other people have in other communities, and therefore we settle. And that's the unfortunate part. What do you guys think? Dr. Felice, any commentary on that?
I think you said it all. I mean, it's true. We don't have the same opportunities, tangibly that most people have. Our mindset and values, I don't know what happened. Like before, when I was growing up, you could say certain things that Black men and Black women wouldn't do. And we could stand on it proud. Man, I don't know how long that's been since we could say that. We can't say that anymore. What has happened to our community? We have drunk the Kool-Aid and then created our own punch and wine with it. It's like we have got to come back sometimes to original foundational principles. I had a philosophy teacher who said, you will always tell a nation by the standards of their women. When a woman's standard goes down, your country has the threat of being annihilated. And so women hold the standard. And if we don't have a standard, our men will not. They will rise to the standard that you give them. If we all stood in sisterhood and told these boys, these men, you got to go back home. And I'm talking about your mothers telling their sons, you got to go back home, sir. You can't come here. You can't lay your head here. You got to go back. They would either have to be homosexual or have to get it right. And we have the power as women to unite and say, look, we got a standard that we got to all rise up to, especially if we want to save the family. Family is cornerstone to thriving societies. And we are bottom on the list in how we are contributing to that. And so we got to get back. So
but see, that's the standard. So those women in that first video, they are the result of that entire conversation. There's no standard. There's no boundaries. They don't want more for themselves. They just want the bag. They don't give a damn. They'll take a piece.
But guess what? The standard gets lower because somebody in our ancestry dropped the ball. And so what do certain cultures say? They say, you always tell the story. You always share the story. You don't let it go. When you birth the child, as soon as they come out your womb, you share the story. When you get in your village, you share the story. You pass the baton. And somewhere along the line, we have dropped the baton. It is not their fault that they don't know. It had to be passed down. So I own it. I take responsibility for the fact that these young girls don't have the values that they know to have. And
you can't take responsibility. You take responsibility for who you have direct access to, for who you have direct responsibility over. And I'm sure your daughter is a beautiful, wonderful human being.
She is. But you know, y'all know me. It's not enough that me and mine has. It's not enough. I don't live in an isolated island. I belong to community. And so, yes, I will do all that I can to make sure that my legacy has, but I'll also teach my legacy to give back. That Amen. It's not enough that we have. Because first of all, if it's just us who has, then you coming for mine. No. I don't want you coming for mine. So I'm going to teach you how do you have yours so you can stay in your spot, but we all come to the table equally. And so, yes, that's what I mean by I dropped the ball too, because there is so much more that I can be doing to make sure that these young girls do have an idea about what a standard looks like and have the courage.
You don't got that kind of power. The social media got all the power. You just said it.
We're gonna ban social media. We're gonna
march. Tiara.
I hate this. I don't know why this acts like this, but I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna throw this in there and I'm gonna go back mute. I blame rap music. I blame if you want to, Dr. Felice, if you want to help become a rapper, leave therapy and become a rapper and rap about other things. Because right now the vibe is that everything is about the bag in rap music. The women it's about having sex, about having a certain aesthetic. It's about looking a certain way. It's about being a bad bitch. It's about having the bag. That is the most important thing in rap music, especially coming from use that nigga and pimp him and do this. And all of these messages are permeating the minds of our girls, even us as women. The things like sometimes if I'm standing somewhere and Sexy Red come on and I'd be like, what I used to be like, I hate this. I'd be like, boy, they're super fed. Right? Like before I know it, I'm the mantra, all of that is meditation, right? You listen to something, and music is the only thing that can permeate your spirit without you even knowing, right? So all the messages that we receive, I think we're receiving from the music. So if I could go back, I feel like the reflection of our community heavily relies on where our music is.
Agreed. Dr. Sabrina, what you think?
I agree. I could not agree more. But here's the problem that I find, you guys. For those of us that are out here with positive messaging, who's listening? Who is actually really listening? It is sad to me that we have come to a time in our lifetime, in our community, where we would rather be entertained than educated. If you put out an educational video on how to do something, you may get 2 views. You put out something that's ratchet. It goes viral instantly. Yeah. So even in trying to set the standard, even in trying to be the standard, even in trying to direct and guide and, correct the right size, this ship that has capsized, it's very difficult because, to your point, social media is so powerful. And that is, what has just captivated a whole generation of our people.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Sabrina, you're right. You're right. But I don't believe that we are the ones who have control over that. That was pushed. That was the agenda pushed by white supremacy. That was part of the indoctrination of our young people. You remember back in the 80s and the 90s, we had positive rap music, and then we had NWA. When that happened, they started pushing that. There's a rumor that there was a secret meeting to say, how do we incarcerate more Black people? We start doing, we start putting this stuff in the music, and then all of a sudden death count went up for our black men. All of a sudden incarceration rates went up for our men. So while positive music was still coming out at the same rate, it wasn't being promoted at the same rate. They're only putting the negativity in our communities. The powers that be are white Jewish men. And they would never, ever push the same music out in their communities, in any other communities, the way that they do ours. They have music about rape, about pillaging, about murder each other. They would never do that. They would never do that, but they forced it upon our people, and we've eaten it, and we've taken it hook, line, and sinker. And of course, who was that? Tank. He said, our violence isn't the threat. Our love is. He said with the music industry, they would rather put $50 million into gangster rap than into love music. The problem is Black people loving each other is the threat to white supremacy. Unification and unity is the threat to white supremacy. Let's talk more about that when we come back from the commercial.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
All right. Listen, if you are just tuning in to Fly Nubian Money, today we are talking about Black women who are confessing that they prefer a rich man who cheats over a loyal poor man. Now, I pray that my sons never be the poor guy. And I also pray that they never be the man who cheats. Like, what are we teaching our sons? What are we teaching our daughters? Where does the values really lie in our communities? What are we really teaching these young people? Let's roll that first video one more time so that they can understand what it is that we talk about.
Would you rather have a rich man who cheats or a broke man that's faithful?
A rich man who cheat. Go for it. A rich man that cheat. Rich nigga that cheat all day, easy, with my eyes closed.
Your eyes gonna be closed because you're not gonna be looking.
Don't give a fuck. No other bitch. Only worry about me. Rich nigga that cheat. Broke nigga that's faithful. I got the bag.
Broke nigga that's faithful, baby. I can run it up, baby.
A rich nigga that cheat, because I'm probably gonna cheat too. I'm gonna get my get back. 9 times out of 10, if he cheating, I already know his cheating schedule, so I'm gonna cheat in between.
A cheating schedule?
Yes, niggas got cheating schedules.
Oh, you gonna boss a broke nigga up?
Yeah, I feel like we can always change that. Baby, just keep me put up. I don't give a fuck what you do.
If you got
So is this a problematic conversation? Is what everybody wants to know. Some people say it is, and some people say it isn't. Some people, applaud these young ladies for being honest. My question to you, us being elders, we're almost elders now. What do we say to these young women who have this? What's the message that you would send them, Dr. Sabrina?
I don't think it has to be either or. A broke person or a rich person, a broke person who does this or a rich person that does this, because we've clearly made the argument that, even if they're broke, they could cheat, even if they're rich, they could cheat. So I don't think it has to be either or, but I do think that character, there's a conversation around character that does need to happen, because at the end of the day, a person may be rich, and that's the problem. That's the problem. The concept of quote unquote rich and what riches are versus the concept and the construct of wealth and what wealth is. Okay, you can be rich today and broke tomorrow, We have too many examples, even among celebrities, of people that had riches, that were rich for a moment and then found themselves with nothing within a short period of time because they never really learned how to manage and how to handle money. So I think our conversation is off here. It shouldn't even be about, whether you want this quote unquote rich person, but what is that person really doing to establish wealth? And not just wealth for me today and I'm taken care of and I don't care what somebody else is doing, but are they establishing generational wealth for, generations to come? Are we on that tip? And I think, again, we got to have a real frank conversation with these young folks about the difference between all this flashy bling and what's rich and what's real. Wealth is real.
Because that could certainly be temporary. Trying to get that money is only temporary. And I think that's another problem within our community. We have this microwave mentality on everything, trying to get rich quick on these, on everything, this fast money. And we never think, overall, I don't want to paint us with a broad brush, but just the wealth aspect that you talked about, Dr. Sabrina, that far surpasses, any get in the bag right now. Is let's look at the long term. When you 70 years old, how's that going to show up in your life? And what's the real value in that? And they're not even thinking past next week or next month or next year. And that's the scary part with these young people. But let's take a look at this last video and discuss that.
Would you just explain something real quick? Okay, you know how you said, well, we'll just be both sharing? Men ain't as picky. So it's a lot more options out here for men. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. A man don't really have to share because it's a lot more options. But when it comes down to it, if you ladies are really looking for that type of man, I'm just speaking facts. It's only 15% of men that are making over $100,000. And that's still, to a lot of ladies, because I ask them all the time, not even a lot. But it's only 15% of men that are in that bracket. So once you go outside of that bracket and go under, that's 85% of men. So I'm just asking a logical question.
So what's your advice for a woman who has established herself or has worked hard? And I know that currency for women and men are different, where your all's money is your all's kind of currency with us versus our like nurturing or whatever. That's our currency to y'all. What is your advice for a woman who has like worked her way to a point where she feels like I'm an established woman with a name for myself and I want an established man, and specifically black men where that's an even smaller percentage? What is your advice for that woman too? Like, because I'm under the impression that when you work on yourself and you just focus on yourself, that man just comes. Like, that's what I'm under the impression of. And if he ain't here, then I need not to look at the bus driver. Like,
I would say instead of looking focusing on the money and focusing on the situation of a bus driver, a truck driver, focus on someone who you can work with. Focus on, okay, I may be making 15, 20K more than this man, but when we come together, we could build a great family.
An empire. But if you feel like you're the empire and then you just have like this worker who's your man, in that dynamic, it's not going to be he's the king of your castle. It'll be that he's working for you. So it's like, and I know men, like, y'all have this pride where if you're a bus driver and you know your woman's worthy of getting somebody better than you, y'all take that out on her. And that is, like, it hurts.
The only thing that I'm
especially
she ain't telling no lies. I mean, what do you think, Miss Black Hollywood? What do you think of the video?
It's so interesting that there's like these women sitting around this one man. I think there was other men there, but I couldn't really see. But sometimes I feel like that's a representation of what they make us believe is available, right? I don't know, just even the idea of that, like all of those women to one man, and everybody is like, I hope he picks me, kind of thing, right? It's so interesting to me, but that's the way they make us feel. Like there's not enough men to go around. I'm seeing a lot of women, and this is actually a topic for another show, and I didn't want to drag this into, but I saw that Summer Walker was on the red carpet with an older white man, and it piqued my interest, and I start looking around at Black women. Now it's a trend that Black women are now saying like, okay, I done tried Jerome. And I saw her the other night at Chris Brown's concert, but basically she was like saying what her type was in this little video and was like, that's just not working. right? Like dreadlocks, 6 feet, whatever it is, street dude. I like him though. She was like, I like him though. You know, it's like, girl, but he gonna cheat on you. You know, and it just made me think about and seeing her on the red carpet with this white man and saying, like, I tried it. Black man, I tried to do this with y'all, but I just would rather just be a older white man cotton candy on a red carpet and this be my boo now, because now I'm gonna be put up and I'm gonna be you know, taken care of, as opposed to being dragged and having children by some, you know, by somebody that's gonna drag me through the mud. So if this was me talking to Lauren, I would just say, I don't want Lauren to be with a man that's gonna be counting pennies. I don't want that. I don't want that. But I also have seen women stay with men. Again, I live in Hollywood. So I remember, hopefully she don't get mad for me telling, but I remember when Tori Hart, Kevin Hart's wife, I did a radio show after she had gotten recently divorced from Kevin Hart, or they were going through the separation. It was a long time ago, y'all. And this woman was so distraught. I didn't know her at all, but she was like, yeah, because Kevin used to leave and it was this and that. And then this would happen. And then I used to just go in the bathroom and drink. And then the kids would be outside the door. Like, I was like, again, didn't know her, but she had decided to stay with somebody for a long time, and Kevin would go out and do whatever Kevin was doing. But and not to put their big, but I just remember she said this on the internet, so I'm only saying. But I remember meeting her after that and how distraught she was. It made me feel like that's not worth it. That's not worth it either. So I think that the answer is just to get somebody that loves you, that's gonna cherish you and take care of you, and that's what I would want for my daughter. Get a man that's going to cherish you. Just make sure you ain't gotta count pennies. I don't know. We gonna make sure Lauren got some money, so she ain't never got to be with somebody that makes her have to count pennies. So that's my thought.
Felice, what you think?
I would like to tell these women to learn how to build their identities outside of relationship. Who are you? Who are you becoming? And know that you are so much more and so much bigger than just you being in a partnership or a relationship or companionship with someone. So developing your identity outside of that, learning how to date and love yourself so that you can identify real love when it presents itself. And you'll be surprised of what that looks like and what it's shaped in. It may not come in the dollar figure that you think it should be, but it will have all the potential to do that and more. And so I would first start there and building their identities outside of a relationship, and knowing and working on their mindset that you can, instead of the bag, abundance, that you can have abundance and respect, and that you don't have to tolerate betrayal. And so I would go along those lines.
Good stuff. What about you, Dr. Sabrina? What do you think about that video?
So I'm going to approach it from the other angle, where the gentleman was saying that, you know, there are only 15% of the men are making 6 figures or greater. So with that being said, and with that, you know, that thought in mind, and we know that the selection pool is smaller. I think you talked about that earlier, Constance. So there's more competition then for these people that these women are looking for, the rich guy. Everybody's looking for the rich guy. My question is, what are you doing to make yourself stand out? You know, why would he choose you? Whether you're going to be the person that tolerates his foolishness or whatever, why would he choose you?
That part. Like all the things, who said that? I think it was, I don't know, it was Tyler Perry or somebody on Tyler Perry. They were saying, you know, all the things that you're saying that you want in a man, do you also have those things? Do you have, you know, you're asking for the things that you don't even have desire or can acquire or anything like that, but you want somebody else to have it. And also Kevin Samuels talks about that too. You want a man that makes $300,000 and, you know, and he's fit and he got all of these things and, you know, you ain't even taking care of yourself. And so that's really valid. I just say, you know, one thing for me is, you know, when I first got out of my marriage, like I really wanted to be in a relationship because that's all I knew. That's all I knew, because I had been with my ex since I was 15. So the thing is, go straight from this because you want to be with somebody. The desire is, I want to be in a relationship. And the longer that I was single, doesn't mean that I don't desire having a companion, but I got to know myself. And I think for these young people, first of all, don't get married before your prefrontal cortex is developed. You got to really understand yourself. But that's the thing, whether you're, you know, you're older or you're younger, really understanding who you are understanding your value, build yourself up to where you can depend on yourself. So when you do have something, you can bring it to the table so they can't even question whatever, your value or your worth. But it doesn't have to necessarily be monetary, because again, a successful man, like a very successful man, he don't give a damn if his woman is working at McDonald's or she is the CEO of Microsoft. He doesn't care, because he knows what he brings and he knows what he values. He wants somebody who's going to be his helpmate. He wants somebody that's going to rub his rusty, dusty feet at night. He wants somebody that's going to do the F's, F them and feed them and all those things as well. So, we gotta know as women, I think our roles and what we should be doing. I had a friend who was married, and she was like, he didn't appreciate me because I had him on red carpets and I had him in Balenciagas. I'm like, but did you rub his back? Like, he doesn't care about him being on red carpets and this celebrity. Men don't, a lot of people, unless you chase that type of thing, they want basic companionship. They don't care about none of that other stuff. And that's where we have to really put our values in. Unfortunately, social media has had us so effed up that the value is placed on the things rather than the person. And that's the really unfortunate part about it. But let's look at some stats, and then we're going to go to our final thoughts. The 2023 Credit Karma survey found that 65% of women rank financial stability as more important than physical attraction in a partner. Pew Research reports that 71% of Black women are single, and many cite financial stress as a major barrier to healthy relationships. Okay. Divorce statistics show that money issues are the number 2 reason for divorce, second only to infidelity. Black women have the fastest growing rate of entrepreneurship in the U.S., yet they are still underpaid compared to both men and white women, which shapes expectations around choosing financially secure partners. I will tell you, like, all my friends in California, they all have men who, I don't want to say that. I don't say that out loud, but they all do a lot better than their men. I don't know. It's just what it is. Have you found that, Tara?
Well, I live in Hollywood, so yeah. I mean, I'm around a whole lot of men who are in pursuit of a career that is it's like trying to get in the NBA, I think. Like they're just, so they might need to be on your couch, or you'd be like, oh, you can't pay for dinner. Got it. Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. So it has been my experience, yes.
We striving together, baby. We're gonna get this together. Do you? I know you're from the South, Sabrina, but do you find that women are more? What's the? I guess the dynamic of relationships where you're from.
Well, it depends on who you ask. There are some that are struggling. The women, there are some men that are struggling, and in some instances, both of them are struggling. In some instances, both are doing well. So I guess it really just depends on who you ask. And I want to say this kind of as my closing thoughts while I have the camera. We're in a different place as a society. Our mindset is really, really focused on getting things. And at the end of the day, I want to remind each of us, I don't have a problem with any of us getting our bag or doing well, but I challenge us to be decent human beings, be better people. I think we need to spend some time working on self, no matter what it is that you are in pursuit of. Because at the end of the day, you very well could find yourself, even if you find that rich man that has the bag, you may find yourself by yourself. So I want to just encourage all of us, let's spend some time working on self so that we are truly, truly putting out positive energy in this very negative world. And with that being said, I am Dr. Sabrina Edmon-Williams, educator, author, and investor, opening minds, closing contracts. I am so noted, and I am so delighted and excited to be here on Fly Nubian Money podcast with these beautiful, beautiful queens. I am a life and legacy planning strategist. If you need help with your estate planning, October is National Estate Planning Awareness Month. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm at I Am So Noted across all platforms. That's IAMSEWNOTED. Thanks, ladies.
Yo, that was good. So for you, Tiara, at the end of the day, what do you believe matters the most for a lasting relationship? Would it be love, loyalty, or legacy?
Ooh, love, loyalty, or legacy. I'll just say a little bit of all of it, right? Love, loyalty, and legacy. I want all of that. I want to experience all of that. But I'll just say this. I lost a sister friend last year, and it really snapped me back into reality that these are the days of our lives. And these are the days of our lives. Like, we get a certain amount of time on this earth to live. And I don't know if I would give my life over, your life over to something that doesn't matter for a piece of paper. I'm not giving you, that's going to feel like prostitution. That's going to feel like I robbed God. That's going to feel like all of the things. So I think for me personally, I know it's cute and all of that. And I definitely don't, I understand what these young ladies are saying, but at the end of the day, that would feel like prostitution for me. It would feel like, especially if it wasn't right in my soul, if it wasn't well in my soul, if God didn't say, this is what I'm sending you, then that it's a no for me. Because again, like I said, these are the days of our lives and we want to spend them making sure that we are honoring what we're supposed to be doing, our purpose, our calling. Like you said, I think we're put here for love. Love is part of our legacies. It's part of our journeys. And so just making sure you're focused on that rather than money, because money is a piece of paper that was printed in DC, right? It doesn't really mean it's given value. It's not, but we are around here. We are the value. It's us. So that's why I wouldn't do it. That's why I wouldn't do it. That's what I would tell my daughter.
Where can we find you?
I am actually going to just go ahead and represent for Karma J today. You can find me across all platforms at Karma J Music. That's KHARMA JAI Music. I would rather you start to follow those pages and fill it up because I'm making my transition. Hollywood's about to be Karma J.
Okay, Karma J, let's get it. Karma J has an album that has absolutely no skips. And if you don't got it, you need to go get it. Put the website up on the thing.
It's KarmaJ.com, y'all. KarmaJ.com.
Karma, KHARMAJAI.com. Y'all get this album. I'm telling you, it has no skips. I was invested from beginning to mother end. If you heard me, like it is such a dope album. It's so dope. So you will not. Yeah, you will not be disappointed at all. I'm so happy and I'm so proud of you for doing that, girl.
I appreciate it. I want to also just give a little shout out because yesterday, Anonymous, I saw you in the comments when you said fantasy was your favorite song. Listen, Anonymous is going to keep it real at all times. So if Anonymous is listening to my album.
Okay, if Anonymous is listening, it must be about for real.
It must be a real thing because he's going to keep it real every time. So I appreciate it, brother.
I agree. Anonymous said, love is more of an action for men because we build everything. And I just can't imagine life without love. Like, imagine, I grew up, my parents, we had a rough childhood, but my parents loved me. And, my children loved me. I couldn't imagine having a partner that just didn't love me. And I think at the end of the day, this conversation isn't really about choosing between a rich cheater and a loyal man with no money. It's about what we really value in ourselves, in our relationships, because wealth without respect is empty. It could feel limiting, if you don't have a vision. It's it's so short-sighted. It's the now, it's the microwave, but it's not something that's lasting and sustaining. And what I really want, I think for Black women, the goal should be, and this is Black men too, it should be building really strong partnerships where you have the love, where you have the respect, where you have the loyalty and the legacy, and they all go hand in hand so that we can build great communities together. Because when Black men and women come together, oh my God, the force of us together, why do you think they are working overtime to destroy what it is that we have? And all of these things, all the social media, all of this propaganda is really there to tear down and destroy. But I'm going to tell you, J. Edgar Hoover said that the biggest threat to America was Negro unity. And if we can unite as men and women, as family, as sisters, as brothers, and just come together, we are a powerful force. And that's what they are afraid of. And so we have to work overtime to make sure that we make that happen. All right. So let me just tell you, Today's discussion shows just how complicated love, loyalty, and money can be. For some, money is a deal breaker.
Where can we find you? You didn't say.
Oh, you know what? You can find me everywhere. And I am Constance Carter. And yo, listen, I have the B1 Real Estate Mastery Training coming up next week. The new cohort on the 23rd of September is getting ready to start. I just did a great training last week. And last night I did something with Dr. Boyce's real estate school. On Friday, we're bringing, so I did a video. Well, you know, when I was at ABC, I did, inside we had a breakout and I was talking about how don't buy a house with your spouse. Yep. So that video did like millions. So it went viral on all of my pages. But then this guy, I forget his name, Melanin King or something like that. He posted it like 2 days ago. He got like 3 million views on that video. Like, it's like going crazy. And it's like basic shit that I've been doing for years, right? Which I had no idea. So Boyce and I talked over the weekend. We're going to do a training, a don't buy a house with your spouse master training on Friday. I don't know the URL or anything like that, but you can text the word Queens or Constance to 87948. And if you text that, you'll get a link of the training of how you can sign up for the training. It's on Friday, but I'm going to give you the blueprint of how to do the whole strategy of not buying a house with your spouse so that you can build more together so that you can build the empire together. It's not to separate y'all to say, because somebody told me, Constance, you trying to put the devil in my marriage. No, it says let's build together so that we can build an empire together. And that's what I want for Black people too, is to get wealth through real estate together, build our legacies, our families, our businesses, and all the other things. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Killing it.
But I do want to talk about today's discussion because it shows how complicated love, loyalty, and money can be. And for some, money is a deal breaker. For others, loyalty means more than financial security. And at the end of the day, every woman has to decide what she values more and what she's willing to live with. But one thing is clear, y'all. When you build your own financial stability, you don't have to choose between loyalty and wealth. You can demand both. And here at Fly Nubian Money, we are committed to helping you master your mindset and maximize your what? Your money. So that love becomes a choice and not a financial survival strategy. Ooh, that was good shit right there.
I'll be writing some days. Go ahead.
Drop the mic. Yes, thank you, Tierra, for that. So listen, you guys, we're going to see you. We see you every day, 11 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. 10 a.m. Eastern.
Yes.
1 p.m.
No, not 10 a.m. Eastern. 1 p.m. Eastern. 10 a.m. Pacific.
So we'll see you every day. We see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Dr. Sabrina, you going to be here tomorrow?
No.
Okay. So it was so lovely seeing you today. I love seeing your face. I love seeing your face. Miss Tierra, I'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.